Google Colab. So all of you type Google Colab on the computer. And open the Google Colab. So let us take a new notebook. Let us take a new notebook. Here, let me explain you this window. Here, you can give the name of the program. So let's say it is our Python Bootcamp. Let's give the name Python Bootcamp, and it has various windows. This is called as code window where we can type the code, and there is one more. There is one more. Sorry, it was disconnected. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'll start on my computer. It's started on mobile. Just a minute. Huh? Okay. Now it has the text window also. It's visible now. The screen is visible. Okay.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And it has a text window. The text window can be used for writing various comments. It can be used for writing various comments and even the logic of our program and algorithm so can be used. So it's like complete notebook in which we can have the text data as well as the coding data. So it is possible. Okay. So now let us start our first Python program onto this code editor. Okay. And the first program that typically every student does is a hello world. So how to print hello world? Those who have learned C programming and those who have known C++ also. So you know that for output in C++ it is cout, and for in C it is printf, and in Python it is just print. Okay, print, and whatever we have to give in a print can be given in the string format. Let's say it is string hello world that we have to hello world. This is our first program in Python Bootcamp workshop. Okay, now let us run it. So run can be done with the arrow present there. So this arrow, you can click it, or you can with the keyboard, you can just enter control and then enter. So if you press control and then enter, then it runs it. So you see that it is allocating the resources to you, and it is allocating RAM, the everything that is allocated, and then now it will execute. See, now this is the output. So this is the code window. This is the output window. Okay. So the output window says that the string is printed, and you see that the resources available here, that some RAM is given to us, some disk is given to us, see around 0.75 GB and 12.69 GB disk that is typically given for us for this environment. Okay, so it is like on demand the resources are given, and that is called as infrastructure as a service. It is a cloud computing concept, and you have been given infrastructure online and at free of cost. Now let us try with now. So we need to have input. With the input, we are reading the variable input. We are reading the variable. So for input, it prints automatically the message. So there is no need of print. So I'll remove the print. So it prints automatically. And now let us, okay, enter a number. So let's say number 5. So A is 5, 3, 3, B is 3. Okay, so we got it. Now we have C is equal to A plus B. And let us see, print the addition of A and B is. So let us have input 5 and 3. So it gives the addition of A and B as 53, but it is not correct. Okay, so because we want A to be 5 as a number and 3 as a number, so therefore 5 plus 3 should come out to be 8, but it is coming as 5 3 means what? It is concatenated. 5 के बाद 3 लग गया है, so it is now concatenated. So if I run it again, and if I A as 23 and B as 55, so it will give me 2355. Means what? The 23 is concatenated with 55. Okay, so that means it becomes 2355. But we don't want it to be concatenated, but we want the addition to be done. So what Python is doing? So by default, Python reads. So if we see, by default, Python reads the character. Okay, so whatever you enter, it is read as character. So now if 23 is inserted, then it is read as 23, 2 character, 3 character. So 23 becomes a string. So in the form of Python, and similarly 55 becomes a string. But we don't want to be string, so we want this to be integer. So how to now convert this character into integer then? So then how to convert the character into integer? Or you can call it as a number or number. Then for that we need to typecast it. So let us comment this part. Okay. And so we need a typecasting. So how typecasting is done? Just write before that integer. So integer. So now whatever input will be given, so that will be typecasted into integer type. And then again, I'll put here typecasting integer. So now let us run the program. So now if I enter 3 and second number as 5, so the addition of A and B comes out to be 8. So that is what we want. Okay. So you understood it, that by default, the Python understands the variable as character. So now which are various types of variables then? Now let us see. Types of variables in Python. So which are types of variables? So by default it is character. Okay, so or you can call this as string. Okay, another type of variable in Python is a numeric variables. Numeric means it is integer type or it is it is floating type, floating or complex type. Okay, it supports the complex data also, that is in the form of I, A plus Ij, A plus IB. Okay, so this becomes a complex number. So Python supports the complex numbers also. And there are other types of variables also, like the array variables, array, and in Python it is represented as list, or it is represented as tuple, either list or tuple. And another type of variable in Python is a dictionary. Okay, so we'll learn these variables and examples of these variables one by one. At this moment, you just understand that these are various types of variables. Now, let us try to do a program for finding out within three numbers. Now, we will try to study now the control structures into Python. So for that, let us understand with the any program so that we can understand it. Let us try to find out a maximum and minimum number within the three given numbers. Okay, let us try to do a program. So I'll not touch now this code window. So I'll just remove, I'll keep this window as it is. I'll take a new window. Okay, let us take a new code window. So I'll not write the code here. Let us write down into a new code window. So I want to take three numbers. So can I take the three numbers at one time itself? Yes, it is possible. So I can take, in the Python, it is possible. So I can write A, B, C. That is a three numbers is equal to input, enter, three numbers. Okay. And then we will typecast it to integer. Okay. Now let us see what is the, we'll try to run it and we'll try to print ABC. First, we'll try to print the values of A, B, C. So let us take three numbers, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now it will give an error. Okay. It has given error. Why? Because it has given error. Because integer converts only a single value into integer. For example, if we give 23, then 23 will be converted into integer. If we have spaces now, in this case, what is happening? Our input is 3, then there is a space, then 4, then space, then 5. So the input gets terminated at 3 itself, and therefore it is giving an error. So what we have to do? We have to do an iterator for this. So it is written like this. Okay. So it is written, write down the iterator for it. The code for this is like this. It has to be given into the opening bracket and the closing bracket. Okay. And then we write it as integer x for x in input, this input, and then we have to divide this input into various inputs, or we have to split that input. So we will do with the split. Okay, so this is a syntax. What is happening in this case? It is happening like this. Let me explain you. Now our input, we return a statement like this: A, B, C is equal to 3, and we have given the input as 3, 4, 5. Okay, this input we have given. Now what has to be done? It has to be now converted. That is, 3 must go into A, 4 must go into B, and 5 must go into C, isn't it? And first of all, then we need to typecast it, because by default it typecast. By default it is character. So we need to typecast. So we need to convert it to integer. But integer and this converts only a single integer. That is, if integer 3 is given, then the 3 character is converted into integer 3. But we have given 3 space 4 space 5. Then how to now do with it? So what we will do? We will break this. So we will pass it one by one. So first we will pass 3, then convert into integer, then pass 4, then convert into integer, then pass 5, convert it into integer. Then how to do that? Then we have to do it with split. So let us do the split of this. So if I do split of it, so what split will return? Split will return 3 by first, then it will return 4, then it will return 5, one by one. And what it will do? First, once 3 will be done, then it will do integer 3 and convert that in this thing and give that value to a. So a will become 3. And then next time what will happen, that it will give 4. Then it will happen integer 4. It will be applied. And this 4 value will be assigned to b. So b will become 4. And then what will happen? 5 it will give. Then it does a typecasting to 5, integer 5. And then 5 will be assigned to c. All right. Hello? Whose microphone is on? Riddhi madam, bakta ka please. 1209 IBM. Who is 1209? प्लीज प्रत्येकाने माइक सॉरी मायक्रोफोन तुमचा हे ठेवा, ऑफ ठेवा. जेव्हा गरज असेल तेव्हाच चालू करा. आता हे काय होतं कळलं का तुम्हाला? म्हणजे पायथॉनची ब्युटी काय आहे? लेट मी एक्सप्लेन यू. म्हणजे या सिंगल स्टेटमेंटने कोणकोणते कार्य झाले माहिती का? व्हॉट वर्क इज डन बाय दिस जस्ट सिंगल स्टेटमेंट. दिस सिंगल स्टेटमेंट इज डुइंग दिस वर्क. This work. What it is doing? First of all, it is reading the input 3, 4, 5. Okay, by this input. Okay, and then by split, what is happening? This 3, 4, 5 is splitted into 3, then 4, then 5, one by one. And by this typecasting integer x for x in, then it is happening that x in, that is 3. First 3 will be taken, then it is typecasted. That is by this. Okay, by this. Okay, it is typecasted. And then integer 4, then integer 5, and then it is given one by one to a, then b, then c. It is given one by one. All right. So that is the beauty of Python programming. You can combine so many code at one place. You can combine it and write very readable code. That is the beauty of Python programming. Okay. So now let us try to run it. आता मी input देणार 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now see the output. Yes, we got a as 3, b as 4, and c as 5. So we correctly got the input. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to check it whether which is maximum element. So how to do that? So for that we need a comparison. So how to do a comparison? And comparison is done using a relational operators. So which are various relational operators in Python? Comparison is done using relational operators. Okay, so we have various relational operators in Python, like less than, greater than, okay, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, not equal to. Not equal to is this, or it is also written like this. In Python, not equal to is written either by this or by this. Okay, so both are there. Then equal to, that is if it is same or not. Okay, so these are relational operators. So what we will do? Now we will compare it. That is if, and how the control structure is written in Python. Control structure. Control structure means that I want to compare the two numbers. So it is done using if and else statements in the Python. Okay, let us see how it is done. So if my number, if a is greater than b, and now how logical operators are given. Logical means the and, or, not. These are logical operators. Logical operators. Okay, so logical operators are written the AND. So in C programming, it is written like this, AND. But in Python, it is written as just AND. In the OR, the AND is this. The OR is written as in Python, in a C programming like this, and in Python, it is written as just OR, OR. And the next operator is NOT. Not is written in Python like this, in C programming like this, and in Python it is written as just not. So just like it is English statement, it is written and or not in Python programming. So what we'll have A greater than B and A greater than C. Then and now how to now write down the block of it? The end is given by colon. Okay, so that becomes the if block. So there is no need of braces. Typically that is done in the C programming. So in the C programming, it is written like this. If A greater than B, asa, and is written as this and closing the parenthesis. But in Python, there is no need of braces. That means a block is not required. Just indentation itself is sufficient for giving a block. Okay, so we will write A greater than B and A greater than C, then write colon. So automatically it becomes a block. Do you see? Just if you enter it, then that automatically goes into next tab and that becomes a block. Okay, so whatever we write into that tabs, that becomes part of if statement. So I'll write print A is a maximum element. Yeah, max element is A. Okay, and let us print its value. Print its value is A. Okay. Now we have to come out of this block. Okay, we have to write down else. If A is not greater, then we'll write else. And if we have to write down again if, then it is combined as ELIF. Else if. Else if B is greater than A and B is greater than C, then what is the output? So I'll copy this part and put it. The max element is B and it is written as the value is B. Else what? Else the max element is C. So no need to compare because there are only 3 elements. We will compare only for A and B, and now let us see it. So if I run it, oh sorry, it is and is in the form of and. In C programming, it is written like this, and this is and. Okay, now run it. Now let us enter the number 3, 6 minus 4. So the max element is B and its value is 6. That we got it. Now can we combine this into one line? In Python, we can do it in the one line itself because if is having only single statement. If there are 2 statements, then that is if it is a statement 1 and it is a statement 2, then it has to be written this one after another. Okay, this is statement 2. Now, but if it is a single statement in the block, then you can write it at this place itself. आपण इथेही लिहू शकतो. So that means I can write it at this place. I can write at this place. Okay. Now if I run it and if I enter number 1, 2, 3, then the max element is C and its value is 3. Now, do you see that? Can I have multiple comparisons at one statement? That is A greater than B is a single comparison. A greater than C is a single comparison. But can I do 2 comparison at the one itself with the one comparison with the one statement itself? Yes, in Python it is allowed. In other programming like C, C++, Java, it is not there. Only in Python, multiple comparisons can be done at one place. So how to do that? For example, we have done like this. we have done, that is we compared like this: if a greater than b and a greater than c. So can I write down this? So I can write down this in a very short, that is, if b is less than a and a is greater than c. Okay, so a greater than b and a greater than c can be written as a is greater than b and a is greater than c. It can be written like this. Just one, multiple comparisons, just one after another. Okay, so that can be done. So I'll just replace with this. So I'll have a new window. Okay, let us take a new window. Let's have that code itself. Okay, I'll read this part. I'll just copy this part and we'll write down a new code. Okay, so this part is taken. Now if b less than a, that is a is greater than b and a is greater than c, then what we have to do? We have to print. Let us take this. Max element is a. Else if what we have to do? We have to, for b, for comparison for b. So we'll keep b in the middle. So if a is less than b and b is greater than c, then print max element is b. Otherwise, else just print okay. So now let us run it. So multiple comparisons at, so let us try to insert 5, 1, 2. So the max element is a and its value is 5. So do you see the beauty of it? That multiple comparisons are possible at just with just one statement. In Java and in C programming, in C++ programming, it has to be written one after the another. If we have to again have 4 numbers, then we can also do that. So now what you do, you try the same program with 4 numbers. Try with the same program and send me the screenshot of it in the chat box. Dear students, what you do, we have done the finding max element in 3 numbers. Now what you do, you just find it out the max element in the 4 numbers. 940 Cognizant, please mute the mic.
Sorry, sir.
आता काय करायचंय तुम्हाला, मी 3 नंबरचं केलं आहे. आता तुम्हाला 4 नंबर घ्यायचे. You have to read 4 numbers and find out the max element within these 4 numbers and send the screenshot of that in the chat box. कर सकेंगे ना आप?
Yes, sir.
हाँ. बच्चों समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा.
Yes, sir.
तो अभी क्या करो आप, 4 नंबर का करो और उसका स्क्रीनशॉट भेजो.
सर किया है अपलोड, आपको विजिबल है, एक बार चेक कीजिए।
हाँ सकता हूँ, हाँ हाँ। Okay, very good. So this is done by one student. See here how it can be done. So now 4 numbers are read. So A, B, C, D, and 4 numbers A, B, C, D. So 3 numbers with itself can be done by this. And if it is greater than the 4th number also, then that A number is max. Else if the same thing and B is greater than the last number, and the same thing C is greater than the last number, and finally if it is not, then the last number is greater. Okay, very good. So this is how we can come to know which is the maximum element. Now, so you understood the if structure, if and else structure into Python. Now let us see another type of structure in Python is a loop structure. So let us have a loop structure. Loop structures in Python. Loop structure means that executing that code again and again. Loop means executing it again and again. Loop can be called as again and again till some time or till some condition is satisfied or till that work is done. All right, so do it again and again. So how that can be done using Python is there are various types of loops like for loop, and while loop. Okay, just like we have in C programming, C++ programming, for loop, while loop, it is available in Python, but little bit syntax is different. So let us see it one by one. Okay, so let us have a new code window. Okay, I'll not touch this code window now. Let us take a new code window. So now we will study, let's say, while loop. Okay, so let's take a variable I is equal to value, let's say 5. Okay, and while I is greater than 0, let us, and the loop, it is again a structure, so we have to put colon at the end, just like we put it at the if. Okay, so we have to put colon, so that will make a block. Okay, so the block is created, and we will print the value of I. Okay, and we will do I is equal to I minus 1. So we will reduce the value of I is equal to I minus 1. Now let us try to see what is the output. So we see that the 5 is printed, 4 is printed, 3, 2, 1 on the new lines. Okay, so by default it prints onto a new line. If you want to print onto a same line, then we can do it using print I, and end has to be with the space. Okay, so don't do end with the new line, but do with the space. Now let us run it again. So what is the output? Just try to see it. See we see the output 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the same line with the space. Okay, so space is separator now. The separator is a space, element space. So can I write I is equal to I minus 1 can be written with the I minus equal to 1. So it means I is equal to I
Sir, can you
minus 1.
tell please once again the print statement?
Yes, yes. प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट में जब हम ऐसे प्रिंट करते हैं प्रिंट आई, तो बाय डिफॉल्ट हर आउटपुट नए लाइन पर आता है. जैसे 5 आया, पहले प्रिंट 5 होगा, आई 5 था, 5 हुआ, आई माइनस आई इज इक्वल टू आई माइनस 1 मतलब 4 हुआ. वाइल लूप में आया, वो चेक किया उसने आई ग्रेटर देन 0 है क्या, है, तो अगेन इट विल कम इनटू इनसाइड वाइल लूप. तो उसने 4 प्रिंट किया, पर कहाँ प्रिंट किया, नेक्स्ट लाइन पे प्रिंट किया. फिर से आई कम हुआ, 3 हुआ, so it has become 3 again, it went above while condition. So I greater than 0 hai, condition satisfied, so again 3 printed, 2 printed, 1 printed, and when I became 0, it came again at while loop, and I greater than 0, no, the condition is not satisfied, so it comes out of the while loop. अलग अलग लाइन पर नहीं चाहिए, तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूं, what should I do, I should write end. end मतलब आउटपुट प्रिंट होने के बाद, आउटपुट प्रिंट होने के बाद एंड क्या चाहिए, तो एंड चाहिए जस्ट स्पेस, स्पेस. तो मैंने ये किया और स्पेस दिया, जस्ट स्पेस. सो नाउ रन इट. So we see the output at the one line itself, so no new line. Okay, so this is the output. Sometimes it is required to have output in a very proper format. For example, if you want to generate the structure like this, let's say star like this, then this, let's say there are some kind of a program that are given like this. Okay, so if you want to generate this kind of a structure, then in that case you need an output, the star must be printed onto the same line. Okay, so how can we do it? So just now try with the while loop, try to print the whatever n is given to you, that many this, then this, then this, try to print this output with the while loop. So how will we do it? So first of all, we will read to the from the user. So how many, what is a number? For example, here n equal to 5. When n equal to 5 है, तब ये output है. n equal to 6 रहेगा, तो n equal to 6 रहेगा, तो output यही रहेगा. But there will be one more line, this, and here or one more star, that is 6. So it will print 6 stars then 5 stars, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, and then stop. So that you have to print it using a while loop. So how to do that? So let us see it. Okay, so let us take a new code window. So we will read number from the user. So let's n is equal to int input enter a number to generate pattern. Okay, so we'll take that into n. So now, so what we have to do? We have to print, if n equal to 6, we have to print 6 stars, then 5 stars, then 4 star, then 3, then 2, then 1. Okay, so we'll have a for while loop. Okay, so we'll have one more I is equal to n. Okay, let us take one more variable. While I greater than 0, जब तक रहेगा तब तक. So we have to print again stars. So let's have again a while. We'll have j is equal to n minus, let's I starts from 0, it's better. 0, I greater than, while I less than n, and let's say j is equal to n minus I. Okay, so that many stars we have to print it. So while j greater than 0, print star, okay, and separated by end is equal to spaces. Okay, end is equal to the space. And once it is done, now let us first of all we'll try to see what is our output first, and then we'll try to modify this code. Okay, we'll try to modify this code. So now let us run it. Yes, we have to now decrement j also. So now j is this, so j minus equal to 1. J is equal to j minus 1 can be written as j minus equal to 1, or it is, if for simplicity we'll keep it j is equal to j minus 1. That's fine. J is equal to j minus 1. And similarly, this while loop we have to do, we have taken I, so I is equal to I plus 1. We have to increment I to print next line, and we have to decrement j so that we will print first 6 characters, then 5 characters, then 4 characters, then 3 characters, like that. So that is a logic. Let me explain the logic first, it's better for you. Okay, so what will be the logic that you will do it? Then you will understand the code. Logic. Okay, so my logic would be that number of lines, how many lines to be printed? If n is equal to 6, then number of lines to be printed, number of lines to be printed is equal to n. जितने n है उतने lines print करने. ओके, ये तो समझ में आ गया. सेकंड ये समझ में आ रहा है कि वो स्टार डिक्रीज करते जाना है. मतलब नाउ फर्स्ट लाइन में जो रहेगा, फर्स्ट लाइन में n प्रिंट करना है, सेकंड लाइन में n minus 1 प्रिंट करना है, थर्ड लाइन में n minus 2 करना है. ओके, so and so forth till the it becomes nth line. ओके, वहां तक जाना है. ये समझ में आ गया? तो हमें n लाइंस प्रिंट करने हैं और हर एक लाइन में अलग अलग स्टार्स प्रिंट करने हैं. ओके, सो फर्स्ट लाइन में n, सेकेंड लाइन में n minus 1, सो ऐसे करते जाना है. तो कैसे किया हमने फिर अभी? तो ये while I less than n क्या कर रहा है? ये इट इज मेकिंग प्रिंटिंग n lines. Okay, और इससे क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, while ये मैं डिक्रीमेंट कर रहा हूँ, तो ये कोड से क्या हो रहा है, इट इज नाउ मुझे फर्स्ट लाइन में क्या करेगा, ये n प्रिंट करेगा। सेकेंड लाइन में क्या होगा, जब सेकेंड लाइन में मतलब i2 हो जाएगा, i2 हो जाएगा तो j क्या वैल्यू हो जाएगी, n-2, सो इसका मतलब इट विल प्रिंट n-2, so and so forth, so ये ऐसे होते जाएगा। ओके, so now let us run it. So let's my n is 5. So we see all the stars at one line itself. Okay, so that means we haven't got a new line. Okay, so the new line has to be printed when these complete stars are printed. Okay, and before I is equal to I plus 1. So or after I is equal to I plus 1, I'll print a new line. Print new line. So how to print new line? Using \n. So that prints a new line. Okay, now let us run it again. N equal to 5. So I got the output 3, 2, 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Got it? So this is the output. Now what you do, you try your hand the reverse of it. Reverse करके करो, मतलब पहले 1 star आएगा, फिर 2 star आएगा, फिर 3 star, फिर 4 star, and फिर 5 star for n equal to 5. ऐसे करके दो. Do it and send me the code in chat box. समझ में आ रहा है बच्चों?
यस सर।
Yes, sir.
हाँ, अभी आपको उल्टा करना है उसको, वो कोड करो और मुझे इसमें भेजो, चैट बॉक्स में भेजो।
सर वो कोड दिखाइए ना एक बार।
दिखाता हूँ। हाँ, ये
Rahul sir, hello.
हाँ मैडम, बोला ना।
Sir, I have a question. See, in C or C++, we are using braces, curling brackets, right? Means it's showing that the number of statements will repeat in a particular loop, right? तर आपण इथे असं काही कर्लिंग ब्रेसेस वगैरे टाकत नाही, सो हाऊ इट कम्स टू नो की हाऊ मेनी स्टेटमेंट इट हॅज टू रन, मीन्स व्हाईल लूप शुड रन.
हा, आता कसं आहे माहिती का मॅडम, याच्यामध्ये ब्लॉक आता हा व्हाईल हा इथून सुरू झाला, इथून आता हा ब्लॉक इथून सुरू झाला, तर हा व्हाईल हा पूर्ण व्हाईलचा ब्लॉक आहे. या व्हाईल मध्ये इतके स्टेटमेंट्स आहेत. ह्या व्हाईल मध्ये किती स्टेटमेंट्स आहेत? ह्या व्हाईल मध्ये फक्त एवढे स्टेटमेंट्स आहेत, एवढे या व्हाईल मध्ये. कारण का की त्याचा ब्लॉक एवढा आहे, म्हणजे हे दोन स्टेटमेंट ह्या दोन स्टेटमेंट जे आहे, हे दोन स्टेटमेंट या व्हाईल लूपशी आहे.
Okay, it means it's related with the indentation.
इंडेंटेशन.
Right. Okay. म्हणजे त्याच्यावरनं आपल्याला कळतं की these number of statements are means related with this loop.
हा, करेक्ट. आता हा स्टेटमेंट याला डिस्कनेक्ट झाला, म्हणजे हा इंडेंटेड नाहीये. हा जर मी इथे टाकला i = i+1, तर तो ह्या लूपचा.
ओके,
आता मी
that's why it's showing a indentation error.
हा, तर तो टॅब मध्येच पाहिजे, तुम्ही स्पेस नाही देऊ शकत. यू डोंट हॅव टू यूज अ स्पेस. यू हॅव टू यूज ओनली टॅब.
ओके,
टॅब जो ऑप्शन आहे कीबोर्ड वरचा तोच वापरायचा फॉर द टायपिंग कोड. इफ यू राईट स्पेस, फॉर एक्झाम्पल इफ दिस अँड आय राईट स्पेस लाईक स्पेस, देन इट विल गिव्ह एरर, इट विल गिव्ह इंडेंटेशन एरर.
ओके, ठीक चालेल. ओके, थँक्यू.
Students, meanwhile, I'll tell you one story. Typically क्या होता है कि in our life typically हम कभी कभी ऐसी चीजों को ज्यादा we give the importance which are not very important, and we don't give importance to some things which are very important. So to explain this concept, इसमें एक स्टोरी है, एंड वो बहुत अच्छे से कबीर ने उसमें बताया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक बार क्या हुआ कि एक लड़की रास्ते से जा रही थी, उसके साथ उसके ये भी थे, फ्रेंड्स भी थे, एंड उसकी शादी तय हो चुकी थी. सो शी वॉज सेइंग, एंड शादी तय होने के बाद जब वो तय करते हैं शादी, तब उसको ससुराल वालों ने एक नथनी दी, मतलब नाक में पहनने के लिए जो सोने की रिंग होती है, दैट इज गिवन टू हर. एंड शी वॉज टेलिंग अबाउट इट टू हर फ्रेंड्स कि विथ वेरी प्राउडली दैट मेरे ससुराल वालों ने मुझे ये दिया है, बहुत दिया है, मतलब दे हैव गिवन मी दिस रिंग. And she was boasting about it, very much boasting about it कि मेरे ससुराल कितना अच्छा है, मुझे ये दी है सोने की वगैरह. तो वहां से द कबीर was going, the सेंट कबीर, एंड वो उन्होंने सुना. तो फिर उन्होंने एक स्टेटमेंट बोला जो बहुत ही बढ़िया है. वो है, नथनी दीनी यार ने, नथनी दीनी यार ने तो चिंतन बारंबार. तो उसका यू आर बोस्टिंग इट डॉट मेनी टाइम्स. तो चिंतन बारंबार नाक दीनी करतार ने उनको दिया बिसार. मतलब जो नथनी आप नाक में पहनने वाले हो, वो किसने दी है, आप उसको भूल गए. तो एट द सेम टाइम, तो कभी कभी क्या हो जाता है कि हम ऐसी चीजों को ज्यादा देखने लगते हैं, पर उसके पीछे का जो जिसे ने हमें दिया है वो उसको हम भूल जाते हैं. Okay, anyone completed वो pattern? आसान है ना रे, इतना टाइम नहीं लगना चाहिए। कैसे करेंगे अभी? अभी उल्टा करना है सिर्फ। मुझे यहाँ 5 प्रिंट किए थे ना मैंने, तो मैंने सिर्फ j चेंज करना है मुझे। सो मुझे j क्या करना है कि n-1 के बजाय आई हैव टू स्टार्ट इट फ्रॉम 1। ओके, तो let's say I have to print how many j numbers of elements na, so star j equal to 1 and I have to do j is equal to j plus 1। कब तक करना है? j is greater than or equal to j is greater than I, let's say उतने तक करना है। पहले I क्या होगा? I 0 है, पहले I 0 है, j greater than I j 1 है और j is equal to, तो पहले मुझे print star and this one, let me put the logic first. Okay, logic, let me put the logic and then we will write down the code of it। logic, तो पहले क्या रहेगा हमारा? तो कितने number of lines? the number of lines are same, so number of lines is equal to the n, जितने लाइन से उतने प्रिंट करने। सेकंड है कि फर्स्ट लाइन में 1 आएगा, सेकंड लाइन में 2, 3, 4 until it will become n। okay, till it will become n। so let's go with that। so we'll have I is equal to 1 and while I is greater than or equal to n, तो मेरे n lines आएगी and so if I is 1 I have to print I number of that many number of stars। if I is 1 I have to put 1 star, if I is 2 I have to put 2 star। okay, so my j is equal to 0, so while j is less than I'll print star j is equal to j minus 1 and I is equal to I plus 1, print this। let us now try it। okay, I'll copy this code in new window just for comparison। let us take a new code window and run it। so let's have n equal to 5। while j is less than, j is 0, j is 0 less than I, yes it is less than I, print star। no, while I greater than, no it's not greater than, while I is less than or equal to 1, sorry। now let's have 5। अभी एक ही लाइन में आ रहा है, so I have to put, no, it is not stopping, it is printing continuously। while j is greater than I, no greater than तो नहीं, फिर जाएगा ही नहीं, j is less than I, j is equal to j plus 1, sorry। now try it। 5, yeah, so now we got it। okay, पहले I हमने 1 रखा, तो that many number of stars we have to print it। so मैंने j 0 से स्टार्ट किया और जहां तक I है वहां तक प्रिंट करते गया, कि j बढ़ गया तो वो जितना है, वो जितने I है उतना प्रिंट करेगा, I बढ़ा उससे फिर नेक्स्ट लाइन प्रिंट होगी। तो इससे क्या हो रहा है? when I is 1 it is printing 1 star, when I is 2 it is printing 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars and 5 stars। Okay, so you got it, all the students?
Yes, sir.
अभी ये क्वेश्चन है कि इतना बड़ा कोड क्या can I write down this in a very short code? This, okay, let me write down this pattern into very short code. Can I write it down just with one while loop? Can I write down, because here two while loops are there. So what I'll do, I'll take a new window and I'll try to write down the logic first. So the question is now, the thing is that we have done this using two for loops, two while loops. So the question is, can we do it with one while loop, just one while loop? तो अभी उसको करने के लिए we need to understand some of the characters that how Python works. Okay, so if I write print star, so what will be printed? It will just print a star. If I write star into 3, so let us see what happens. So it prints 3 stars. If I take n as input, and if I write into n, so it will print n stars. Okay, so if I write star space and print it, so what will happen? So it will print star space everywhere. Okay, so it is now printing. So what I'll do now, I'll use this concept of Python for printing this pattern with just one while loop. All right, so now let us use it. So I'll copy this code just for reading the input and take a new window. Okay, so using this we got it. Now let us have a new window. And copy it, paste it. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll have just one while loop. I is equal to 1 while I is less than or equal to n. What I'll do, print कितने मुझे stars print करने हैं? So I have to print star space into I, that many number of times. अब देखिए क्या आउटपुट आता है. Let's say 5. So it is printing one after the another. So I'll print it with the sorry, I have not given the end of it. Sorry. I is equal to I plus 1. I'm sorry. I is equal to I plus 1. वो नहीं दिया. So infinitely run हुआ. 5. See the output. So I got just one while loop. I is equal to I plus 1. अब आप क्या करो, इसको उल्टा करके दिखाओ with this concept. ये आउटपुट दिखाओ मुझे अभी, ये आउटपुट. How will you do it? और चैट बॉक्स में भेजो. Okay, now so you are doing well. Now let us see another structure. We have understood now while structure, while loop. Now another is a for loop. For loop. So how for loop is written in Python? So in Python, the for loop is written like this, using syntax for in range. So if I write for I in range, so in range we have to give the start of the range, end of the range, and what is the increment or decrement value of the range. Okay, so that is the syntax of for loop in the Python. So let us see it in a code. Let us take a new code. And for, let's take I value is some, for I in range, starting value, let's say starting value is 0, ending value is 5, and increment it by 1. Okay, for I in range 0 to 5, 1, print I. So let us see what is the output. So we see the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. It is not printing 5 because then 5 is not inclusive. Okay, if we have to go to 5, then it has to be 6. If I write 6 here, then we will go 0 to 5. All right, so that we will get it. If you want all at one line, then end is equal to this. And if you run it, we see the output in the one line. Now, if I don't write for I in range, if I don't write 0, I don't write 1. So I only write 6. For I in range of 6, what is the output? Let us see. So it is also 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it means that by default, for loop starts with 0, value 0 by default. And by default, the value is incremented by 1 by default. If we don't give it, here increment is not given, starting value is not given. Only the ending value is given. So ending value is 6. And so by default, it is incrementing, starting with 0 and ending with incrementing it by 1. Okay, now if I write start from 1, go to 6 and increment by 2, then what is the output? Let us see. So the output is 135. So it has printed 1, incremented by 2, then 3, incremented by 2, then 5. 5 is less than 6, and therefore 5 is printed. Then incremented by 2, then it becomes 7, which is greater than 6. Therefore it comes out of it, and then it prints 135. All right. So this is how you can write down the for loop in the Python. Now let us write down one program using the for loop. Let us write down a program to generate very simple program that typically is done is to calculate factorial of a number. To calculate factorial of a number. So how do we write factorial of a number? If I have given the number, let's say n, then how do we do? So we write n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 till it is into 2. वहां तक हमें मल्टीप्लाई करते जाना है. So that becomes a factorial of number n. So how do we write it? So let us take a new code window. So we'll read the user input from the user. We already have code of that. I'll copy that code. Control C, Control V. Okay, enter a number to calculate its factorial. Okay, now let's do it with the for loop. Okay, so we have to do this as a sum. Okay, n into n minus 1, n into n minus 1, we have to do multiplication. So initial multiplication, we have to store it. Let's say the fact variable is there and that its value is 1. So we'll have for loop for I in range from 2 to n plus 1, because we have to take n also into multiplication. Therefore, the for loop must go to n plus 1 and increment it by 1. If we don't give it, then by default it will increment by 1. If we give it, then also fine. If we don't give it, is also fine. So we will not give it, there is no need, and then complete. And then fact is equal to fact into I. Okay, now this will find out the factorial and we will print the factorial. Print the factorial of a given number of the given of the given number is कौन सा number? Given number, I have to print that number. So to print that number, I'll put space, comma. I'll terminate this part number, and I'll put n. Then again I'll put is into quote, and then I'll put the value of it, fact. So n is also printed, is also printed, and fact is also printed. Let us see what is the output. Let us have 5. Factorial of 5 is 120. Yes, we got it. The factorial of the given number n, that is 5. The factorial of the given number 5 is fact 120. Now what you do? Now you write down a for loop to generate this pattern. So if n is equal to 5 given, then you have to write down this to, let's say I write only 3. If n3 is given, then the output is this, and then this, then this. Okay, so this should be the output. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, then 2 star, then 1 star. Write down a for loop for this. Okay, so मेरा for loop रहेगा for I in range from 1 to n plus 1. एक से increment होगा, और what I have to print that many stars, star into I, that meaning this one. And once this loop is done, I'll print a new line. Star this is done with this one, again print. Okay, let me see what is the output by this first, and then okay, this is the output. Now I want the output for I in range from in the decreasing order. I have to do it. So in the decreasing order, I'll have n minus 1 till 0, and it is decrement by this one, so minus 1. And I'll print star into I. Let us see with it what happens. It's a 5. See, this is the output. 1 2 3 4 5 4 3 2 1. अब मैंने क्या किया, यहाँ पे मैंने डिक्रीमेंट करना है, मुझे n-1 से 0 तक जाना है. 0 इंक्लूसिव नहीं रहेगा, एंड इंक्लूसिव नहीं रहता है, सो वो सिर्फ 1 तक रहेगा. सो 1 तक प्रिंट होगा, फिर 0 होने के बाद तो स्टॉप हो जाएगा. एंड देन -1 मींस डिक्रीमेंट बाय 1. By default it is increment, so if we have to decrement it, so then -1 has to be given. ये देना पड़ेगा explicitly. समझ में आया? ये for loop से कैसे लिख सकते हैं, या ऐसे लिख सकते हैं? समझ में आया बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
In programming, very important part is that sometimes we write the redundant code. For example, let's say we are doing a program on let's say any program, like we are working on matrix operations. So what is the algorithm that typically we follow for matrix operations? Like matrix operations are addition, subtraction, and let's say a transpose. Multiplication can also be done, and transpose, let's say. So what we do, we typically use like this. That is, we read the matrices, perform the operation, and then print the result. All right. So that is typically we do it. Now, if we, let's say, read the matrices, and again, what we do, we little bit change the flow of it. We read the matrices and we print the matrices, what we entered. Then we perform the operation, and then we print the matrices. Print the result means we print the matrices. So which is the now redundant code if we write it twice? Here what we are doing, we are reading the matrices and we are printing the matrices. Same thing, we are doing the operations, and after that we are printing the matrices. So we see that this code and this code is the duplicate code. And if we write the code here, let's take a new window. If we write the code here, okay, code for reading, code for printing, then code for operations, and then code again for printing. Then we see that this code and this code, they are duplicate codes, or we can call these as, this is a redundant code, extra code. So how to avoid this? Can anybody tell how to avoid this? Writing the extra code. I don't want to write this code again, but still I want to print it. Print the
call the code previously written.
We can call the printing function instead of writing it again.
Correct. So the solution to it is write the function. The solution is write the function for printing the matrix. All right. And then whenever you require, just call a function. Call the function. And then your code will not be repeated. You have to just write the call to that function. Okay. So now next we will see how to define a function in Python and the beauty of defining a function in Python. Okay, so let's come to a topic, Python function. So function, we all know that it is the typical syntax of any function is the return parameter, then name of function, and what parameters we are passing to that function. For example, if we are doing addition of some numbers and we are returning its addition, then what we will return, let's say, so we will have the add, name of the function is add, and what two different parameters we require, let's say two numbers A and B. And what it will return? It will return the result, let's say the C. C is the output of A plus B, let's say. So that is a return type of it, okay, return parameter of it. But in Python, it is not written like this. In C programming and C++, it is written something different. In Python, it is written something different. In Python, the function does not have return parameter. Automatically, whatever you write return, it returns back to the calling function. Okay, so let me explain you with example. So it is written like this, the function. Okay, so what we'll do, we will try to write a function to find the given year is a leap year or not. Okay, is the leap year or not? So we will write the function for it. So def function name is leap. Okay, and we will pass the parameter to it, let's say year. Okay, we will write the code of it later. The block function is also write with the colon makes the block, so this has become block. So whatever we will write into this, that becomes a part of this if the functions. All right, so what is the logic for a leap year? Whether a year is a leap year? Divided by 4. Okay, leap year. So if year is divisible by 4, then it is a leap year. But this is true only for a non-century year. If year is non-century year and that year is divisible by 4, then it is a leap year. Otherwise, if it is a century year, if the year is a century year and divisible by 400, then it is leap year. For example, non-century year means it is not the 100th year. Century year means if we have 1800 is a century year, or 2000 century year, 2100 century year, out of which 1800 is only 2000 is a century, is a leap year, because the 2000 is divisible by 400. 2100 and 1800 are not divisible by 400. They are divisible by 4, but not divisible by 400. Therefore, they are not leap year. And the non-century year means 1996 or 2004 or 2003. They are non-century years, out of which 1996 and 2004, they are divisible by 4. They are the leap years. So what logic we will write now then? So we'll check it whether it is a century year or not. So how to check it? If year mod operation gives the remainder. That means if I divide the year with 100, and if you find the remainder, if remainder is 0, then it is divisible by 100. All right. If remainder is 0, then it is divisible by 100. अभी क्या है हम देखेंगे, और उसके लिए ऑपरेशन कौन सा है पाइथन में? रिमाइंडर फाइंड आउट करने के लिए है mod finds out the remainder. For example, if my number is 4, and if I write down 4 mod 3, then the output is 1. The remainder is 1. If my input is 15 mod 5, then my output is 0. The remainder becomes 0 because 5 divides 15. Remainder is 0, like that. If my input is 120 and if I mod it with 100, then output would be a 20. The remainder is 20. All right, so output is 20. So same thing here. If year mod 100 is equal to 0, means what? It is divisible by 100. Then what we have to do? We have to check it again. If year mod 400 equal to 0, that means it is also divisible by 400. Then return that yes, it is. So I'll return true. True in the sense that yes, it is a leap year. True is a Boolean variable. Boolean variables are there in Python, so it will have value 0 or 1, like Boolean values we have. So true means 1, false means 0. So return true means yes, it is a leap year. Else what? If it is not divisible by 400, then return false. It is not a leap year. If it is not divisible by 100, it will come into else. Then we will print else if year mod 4. Means here in this case it is a century year. It is a century year. Let us comment it. It is a century year. It is divisible by, this condition will check it, divisible by 400. Is it divisible by 400? And if it is yes, then return true. Return true means yes. Yes, it is divisible by 400. Else means that it is not divisible by 400. And here this else part means that it is not a century year. It is not a century year. So what we have to do? So else if year mod 4 equal to 0, then it is leap year. Then return true. Sorry. Return true. Otherwise, else return false. All right. So that's what we are comparing with the function. Now we'll have a year. We will enter the years. We'll take some years. We will take from the user. YEARS, years is equal to, we'll take multiple numbers. So to take multiple numbers, we have to use least operations. Integer x for x in input, enter years to check for leap year, and we'll split it. We'll have it.
बघा आता बारीक असेल तर टाका लेट पडलं
इसका मतलब ऑन है. $9.29 cognizant. 59. Okay. Now, so we got years. Now we will send it one by one. Okay. So for अब मैं कैसे लिखूंगा for year in years, ऐसे भी मैं for loop लिख सकता हूँ. For year in years is leap year. Okay, मैं करता हूँ ये send, तो मेरे पास ये आएगा whether it is leap year or not. If is leap year, then what we have to do, print the given year. कौन सा year है? Year is a leap year. Otherwise, else print the given year is not a leap year. Alright? अभी हमने फंक्शन कॉल किया मल्टीपल ईयर्स को चेक करने के लिए वेदर इट इज अ लीप ईयर और नॉट लीप ईयर. ओके, माइक्रोफोन इज ऑन. मनश्री नेम से now let us run it. Okay, now how many years? Let us enter an year. 1996, उसके बाद 2000, उसके बाद let's say 1800, उसके बाद let's say 2004 and 2021. Okay, let us enter these many numbers. So let us see that what is our output. So the given year 1996 is a leap year. Why? Because it is not a century but divisible by 4. The given year 2000 is a leap year. Very true. 1800 is not a leap year. Good, because 1800 is a century year but not divisible by 400. The given year 2004 is a leap year, and 2021 is not a leap year. Great. So now we got the function properly worked for our problem. Got it? Let me explain you. अभी हमने क्या किया, ये years में number of years ले लिए. ये मैंने आपको explain किया था ये कैसे work होता है, ये कैसे work होता है. तो ये जितने भी मैंने input दिया, ये 1996, 2000, 1800, 2004 ये split हो गया. ये split होके सब years में चला गया. That is called as array you can call it, or list you can call it. और one by one मैं call कर रहा हूँ for year in years. मैं हर एक item को call कर रहा हूँ, and then I'll say I am sending that year for checking whether it is a leap year or not, and it is coming that year here and it is checking whether it is a leap year or not. If it is a leap year, it is returning true. If it is not, returning false. And here I'm checking if is leap year. If it is true, then print it is a leap year, otherwise print it is not a leap year. So this is how it is working. मुझे यहाँ लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है if is year equal to true. कोई जरूरत नहीं. If is leap year means automatically if it is a true, it gives to the boolean value to the if true. If true, then print this, otherwise print this. I need not write equal to true. Got it? All of you? समझ में आया ये फंक्शन कैसे लिखते हैं? ओके. एनी डाउट किसी को है अभी इसमें समझ में नहीं आया? अब all of you write down a function for finding out a factorial of a number. We have written the factorial program. Just write down the function for that. So you will enter number of numbers. एक का नहीं निकालना है. At a time, let's say some 10 inputs are given or 5 inputs are given. उसी 5 numbers का एक के साथ प्रिंट करना है. जैसे ऐसे प्रिंट किया वैसे. इस तरह से आपका आउटपुट क्या आना चाहिए? आपका आउटपुट ऐसे आना चाहिए. मतलब आपका इनपुट जाएगा फैक्टोरियल के एंटर नंबर्स. तो आप नंबर्स क्या करेंगे? एंटर. जैसे मैंने नंबर्स एंटर किया 5 4 7 6 2. तो इसका डायरेक्ट ऐसे आएगा फैक्टोरियल ऑफ 5 इज, तो जो भी है उसका 120. नेक्स्ट आएगा आउटपुट फैक्टोरियल ऑफ 4 इज, जो है उसका वैल्यू आएगा like this. So it should give output like this. So try to write the function. We have written already factorial. So this is a program for factorial. इसको आपको फंक्शन में कन्वर्ट करना है. इस तरह से कॉल करना है उसको, और you have to print the multiple answers. कर सकेंगे आप? Will you try it? Students,
थोड़ा नेटवर्क आया था.
हाँ, क्या चाहिए?
यहाँ पे आपने क्या बताया? थोड़ा पता, नेटवर्क चला गया तो.
अच्छा, नेटवर्क चला. ये आपको फंक्शन तो पता चल गया ना? ये फंक्शन मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया वो. हेलो,
सर एक बार फिर से बताओ ना.
अच्छा. ये फंक्शन हम कैसे लिख सकते हैं? फंक्शन लिखने के लिए उसका प्रोटोटाइप है DEF. DEF मीन्स डिफाइन फंक्शन. DE मीन्स डिफाइन, F मीन्स फंक्शन. डिफाइन अ फंक्शन एंड फंक्शन नेम इज easLib, और उसको मैं पैरामीटर पास कर रहा हूँ ईयर. तो मेरा ये लॉजिक है ईयर चेक करने के लिए, वो तो ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन कर दिया मैंने. सो नो नीड टू एक्सप्लेन द लॉजिक. तो ये हो गया ईयर, वो चेक हो रहा है. तो फिर मैंने क्या किया? इसके बाद ईयर्स इनपुट लिया यूजर से, multiple years, or for year in years I am sending to easLib that year, and it is checking whether it is leap year or not by this code. And if it is yes, then it is returning true. If it is not, it is returning false. And अगर ये true होगा तो ये print कर रहा है कि ये leap year है. अगर ये नहीं है तो print कर रहा है कि leap year नहीं है, not a leap year. Just simple code.
Okay, sir.
Now what you have to do? You have to write down the same function for finding out factorial of a number. So let's have a function, define function, which is factorial, and मुझे एक number चाहिए उसके लिए कोई भी. Let's say I enter a number n, और ये फैक्टोरियल में चाहिए तो इसलिए ये टैब देना पड़ेगा. ये फैक्ट इसके लिए बनेगा, ये अंदर जाएगा कोड, ये अंदर जाएगा. ओके, ये रीड होगा. पहले मैं फंक्शन लिखता हूं, फिर नंबर रीड करता हूं. तो मैंने कट कर दिया ये, और ये यहाँ पे रीड कर लिया. सो अब इससे मेरे पास सिर्फ एक ही नंबर आएगा, पर मुझे नंबर ऑफ मल्टीपल नंबर्स रीड करने हैं. तो कैसे करेंगे? तो n nums मीन्स नंबर्स इज इक्वल टू, तो मुझे इसमें लिस्ट में रीड करना पड़ेगा. दिस इज नाउ लिस्ट. और मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? इंटीजर x फॉर x इन इनपुट this dot split. Okay, enter numbers to calculate its factorial. इसके बाद का कोड लिखो. अभी क्या करना है, कैसे कॉल करना है फंक्शन को लिखो, एंड उसका फैक्टोरियल प्रिंट करो. Anybody completed? अभी कॉल करना है आपको फंक्शन को, फैक्टोरियल फंक्शन को कॉल करना है एक एक नंबर लेके, और उस नंबर का फैक्टोरियल प्रिंट करना है। हाँ, मुझे यहाँ रिटर्न भी करना पड़ेगा। क्या रिटर्न करना पड़ेगा मुझे? फैक्टोरियल, इट्स फैक्टोरियल। तो रिटर्न वैल्यू फैक्ट, फैक्ट मीन्स ये फैक्टोरियल मैंने रिटर्न कर दिया यहाँ से, फैक्टोरियल से। ये रिटर्न होने के बाद यहाँ पे प्रिंट होगा उसकी वैल्यू। ऐसे कैसे करेंगे? फॉर n इन nums, क्या कॉल करना है? फैक्टोरियल कॉल करना है। फैक्टोरियल विथ n से कॉल करना है, ठीक है। और हमें उसकी वैल्यू प्रिंट करनी है, तो प्रिंट द फैक्टोरियल ऑफ नंबर, विच नंबर n इज, और उसकी जो है वो वैल्यू फैक्टोरियल n से उसकी वैल्यू आएगी और वो प्रिंट हो जाएगी। ये फंक्शन कॉल होगा, ये फंक्शन कॉल होगा, इसकी वैल्यू रिटर्न होगी, जो भी रिटर्न वैल्यू है, और जो भी रिटर्न वैल्यू होगी वो प्रिंट हो जाएगी। ओके, तो लेट अस सी इट। Let us enter the numbers 5, 4, 6, 7, 2. Okay. The factorial of 5 ऐसे, ठीक है, आया समझ में?
यस सर।
इतना टाइम क्यों लग रहा है? कर नहीं रहे क्या? क्या हुआ? शुड वी स्टॉप? हेलो, ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम। Now let's take the next example, which understand is the arrays. Arrays in Python. How we define arrays? Arrays in Python. So what do you mean by array? As per definition, what is array? As per definition, array is a collection of similar kind of elements. It is a collection of similar kind of elements. For example, if it is a integer array, then it will have all the integer values, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is called integer array. If it is a floating point array, floating point or floating array, that means a number which are real numbers, then my all values will be the real numbers, 2.3, 4.5, like this, 5.6 or 3.0, let's say. So this is the floating array. Another type of array is a character array. So my all values will be character values. So in a single quote, C, A. So this will be there, all right? Python ka P, like that. This is called character array. This is there in C language, C++, Java. The arrays in this are like this. But in Python, the array is not like this. In Python, the array definition is little bit changed. The definition is collection of similar kind of elements. But here collection could be dissimilar kind of elements. collection could be dissimilar kind of elements. That means then it is called as, it is not called as array, but it is called as list. So list is nothing but array in Python. But not only array, but addition of array with Python. That is, it can have a collection with this similar kind of elements. That means we can have a list like this. So list in Python, let's say A is a list. So A could contain number 2. It can contain the Python word. It can contain the real number 2.3, or it can contain even sublist also 1, 2. So this is a valid list in a Python. See, you can have a list like this in a Python. It is not possible in any programming language, array in any programming language. Considering C, C++, Java, these three I am comparing. Okay, so it is not possible. Now, let us see list how it works. Okay, let us take a new code window. And here we will demonstrate the list. So let's say A is a list, and I'll just copy this part. A is equal to this one and put it and try to print the values. Okay, A is equal to this. So if I print A of 0, so what will be printed? So indexing of the list is same as array indexing, which starts from 0. लिस्ट का इंडेक्सिंग भी 0 से ही स्टार्ट होता है. तो A of 0 बोला मैंने प्रिंट, तो क्या प्रिंट होगा? 2 प्रिंट होगा. 2. I run it, so it will print 2. If मैंने A of 0, 1, 2, 3, if मैंने A of 3 बोला तो क्या प्रिंट होगा? वो सबलिस्ट जो है वो सबलिस्ट प्रिंट होगी 1, 2. दैट इज अ सबलिस्ट. राइट, ये प्रिंट हो गई. राइट. So if I have to print the entire list, I can print it, just print A. So it will print the entire list. मुझे हर एक आइटम से इटरेट करना है, तो फिर मैं कैसे कर सकता हूं? For item in A or list A, and just I print item. See what is happening. What will be printed? So it will print all the items. 2, Python 2.3, 1.2. All right, so all it has printed. If I want to print everything onto one line, then I have to have end is equal to space. If I print it, then it will print all its elements. 2, Python 2.3, 1.2, 1.2, this sublist. All right, this is a sublist. So it is an array. It is as good as array. Arrays in Python is done like this. All right, now what we have to do? We have to write one simple array program. Write down one array program using list. Write a program to demonstrate arrays. So what program you will write? You will write the average of the given numbers. What you will do? You will store that numbers into array, and then you will find out its average. Okay, so let us try to do it. Let's take a new code window. I'll write down A is equal to, I'll take from the user itself that array. Okay, so ARR is equal to, I already have that code. That code is this. I want to take the numbers from the user, so this. So let's take that code. Integer x, for x in input, for input का मैं statement change करूंगा. Enter array elements. All right. Enter array elements. तो मेरे पास वो ARR आ जाएगा. ARR में सारे array elements हैं, और फिर मुझे क्या करना है? उसका एवरेज निकालना है. सो एवरेज निकालने के लिए मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? पहले आई विल हैव टू फाइंड आउट इट्स सम होने के बाद आई हैव टू डिवाइड इट बाय द नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स. ओके, सो मुझे चाहिए होगा नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स आल्सो. तो मैं एक n ले लेता हूं. n इज इक्वल टू इंट इनपुट enter number of elements, and then enter those many elements, right? So मेरे पास मुझे for loop लगेगी, so I'll put initially the sum is equal to 0, and for I in range of 0 to, there is no need of 0. If I write directly n, then it will be 0 to n by default and incremented by 1. So my sum would be, sum is equal to sum plus ARR of I, and sum is equal to sum plus ARR of I, and once the sum is done, I have to do average. Average is equal to sum divided by n, and I have to print the average of given array elements is. Average. Okay, just we'll run it. So let's say 5 elements, enter 5 elements, 1 2 3 4 5. So the average of given elements is 3. That's true. Got it? So this is, you can do with the one-dimensional array. Now convert that into function and try to find out the average of some 5 numbers, 5 different, just that many numbers only, and just do with the function. Write down these into function. Try it. आना है तो बस सिंपल है, def भेजा क्या आपने, def average, and let's say that average, you need some number to find out the least. You need a list. So that list is, let's say, list L, or let's say array, or you call it as array. Okay, I'll give the same name because we have ARR, so I'll keep it ARR so that I need not, so my only this code will come here. मुझे सिर्फ इसको इंडेंट करना है, सम को आगे आएगा, ये इसका और जाएगा, यहाँ पे आएगा, ठीक है? This is part of it, and average is equal to.
हेलो सर,
बोलिए।
सर वो डेफ की फंक्शन में आपने एरे क्यों दिया सर?
डेफ फंक्शन में वो इनपुट पास करना पड़ेगा ना,
मतलब सर एन क्यों नहीं पास किया, उसमें कंफ्यूज होता हूँ।
नहीं, ARR पास करूंगा मैं, उसको A भी ले सकता हूँ, ये इसका नाम आप कुछ भी रख सकते हैं, कॉलिंग का नाम आप इसका कुछ भी रख सकते हैं। जैसे मैंने A रखा, इसका नाम डजंट मैटर, इसका नाम A रखा, फिर मैंने A को एक्सेस किया, ठीक है? और मैं सिर्फ अभी क्या करूंगा, एवरेज निकालने के लिए एवरेज इज इक्वल टू, नहीं सॉरी, AVG, एवरेज 2 बार हो जाएगा, AVG इज इक्वल टू सम डिवाइडेड बाय, मुझे लेंथ चाहिए, सो मुझे लेंथ मिलता है LENGTH, लेंथ ऑफ, से मुझे लेंथ भी मिल सकती है, लेंथ ऑफ A, मतलब इट विल गिव मी हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स बाय यूजिंग लेंथ, सो मुझे इससे लेंथ पता चलती है, आई मीन टू से नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स। ओके, सो आई नीड नॉट पास हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स, by just calling len A, I can find out how many number of elements, and I'll just return AVG. Okay, and once return avg, I have array. I'll call the average, print the average of the given array elements is average, and I'll pass the ARR, that array ARR here, and it will get the value return avg from here. All right, let us run it. Let's have 5 elements, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. So the average of given array elements is 5.2. समझ में आया? मतलब ये ए नाम ये एग्जैक्टली ARR ही चाहिए ऐसा नहीं है। हाँ, ये आप इसको कुछ भी नाम दे सकते हैं। इसका मतलब क्या हो गया पता है क्या? हाँ, नहीं समझा आपका क्या बोलना है?
एक ही जगह पे सब नहीं दे सकते, मतलब वही क्यों लिया ऐसा समझ।
इसकी जगह पे क्या दे सकते हैं?
मतलब